Okay, let's talk about how much Netflix sucks. Dan Lin, write that name down. He's the Netflix film chief and a bastard. Has gone on record and stated the streamer accepts that it won't work with directors that prioritize a theatrical release. What? Meanwhile, we got Steven Spielberg over here with the new movie coming out about aliens. He always makes awesome alien films, and he's saying the exact opposite. He wants movies in theaters longer. Open up that window. That way you kind of force audiences to go out so they don't have to wait so long to get it at home. It's like the dumbest obvious idea ever, and somehow these fucking streaming companies are not seeing it. Or, oh wait, no. They don't want to, because their profit is at home. This is what a bunch of us were saying when people were going, yeah, let Netflix buy Warner Brothers Discovery. What a great thing. They can infuse a bunch of cash into it. We can get all these great movies in the theaters. No, what? Netflix is a streaming service. They want to kill the theater experience. Sure, they've dabbled. They threw K-pop Demon Hunters out there after the fact for a few days, made a good profit, and then they pulled it right away. But they have made it clear time and time again that their focus is on mid-budget, mediocre to bad garbage that you can stream from the comfort of your own couch. Since my predictions have been just absolutely stellar lately, I'm 1 for 1 as of late, saying that Masters of the Universe is going to bomb. I'm going to make another one that makes me even more depressed, which is Disclosure Day is not going to do well at all. I have a feeling this movie is going to bomb. While Steven Spielberg's name is all over Disclosure Day, it is an original film. It is sci-fi, which hasn't been doing the most amazing numbers as of late. Granted, Project Hail Mary did pull in $680 million worldwide. It's based on a book series. Disclosure Day, I don't think it's based on shit. So you have an original story, which goes against it, sadly, in this day and age. You do have a big name director who, sadly, isn't the biggest name anymore for modern audiences, especially when his last major movie release was Ready Player One. Since then, he did The Fabelmans, which obviously didn't have mass appeal. He did West Side Story, which also didn't have mass appeal. And so his name does not carry the same weight it once did. It does to me, but I'm talking about, the mainstream general audiences. They just don't give a shit anymore. And that to me, coupled with these fucking executives over at Netflix and other streaming services, it just chaps my ass. Because it seems like the streaming side of things is winning this fight. If Netflix would have got their grubby hands on Warner Brothers Discovery, they probably would have played ball for a year or two, released some big movies into the theaters, but after that, I could have guaranteed you they would gut that shit fully, and we would just see it trickle onto streaming platforms, low-effort material pumped out every week. And new generations are getting trained more and more on that, not to go out to the theaters, to stay at home and watch whatever garbage comes out next week on the streaming platform. Once in a while, you do hit them with a Minecraft, you hit them with the Backrooms, and those numbers are big, but we don't have enough of those to speak to the new moviegoers out there. So us old timers are still trying to keep this thing going. Spielberg wants to keep this going. Christopher Nolan, Quentin Tarantino, kinda. Well, it seems like he does, although he's just completely jaded on Hollywood in general. Not only shitting on actors he doesn't care for, but the industry as a whole, and how it has completely run out of ideas, how it's just a churn and burn sausage factory pumping out the flavor of the month, pandering to its audience, trying to capture whatever it thinks is popular and completely missing the mark more times than not. This Netflix news is probably a shock to no one, but I do think it's worth talking about just so I can rant a few more minutes about how I really don't want theaters to go away. Even if the experience itself has not always been ideal, the prices are way too high. AMC and these other box chains are nickel and diming the fuck out of people. It's not even nickel and dimes, they're dollaring the fuck out of people. When a medium soda now costs $8.50, you know something has been completely ruined. And the people that attend some of these movies are so incredibly rude and completely off the shackles. They're unchained. There's no security. There's no ushers to come in and tell people to quiet down because the theater might only have like a staff of 4 working to manage a 16 theater multiplex. This gives the at-home experience a major advantage. However, there is something to be said about going out to the movies. There is something completely unmatched, even at home, if you have your own in-house theater. Because you are in a room, in the dark, with a bunch of strangers who might have different opinions on everything, but in those 2 hours, unless it's a Christopher Nolan movie, in those 3 hours, you get to experience something magical, hopefully, on the big screen and not Scary Movie 6. And you are all in this room for one purpose. You are there to experience a new story in a new world, take you out of the misery that you're living in currently, unless you're the teenager that was next to me during back rooms, in which case you're just checking your Instagram account every 5 minutes and I want to murder you! Regardless, you can't get that from home. And that's why I will always die on the hill of keeping movie theaters open. That's why I go out to them every single week, multiple times. And even though I have had some great experiences at home with my family watching a film on the couch, they pale in comparison to all my most fond movie memories, which were at the theater on the big screen. So Netflix can kiss my ass. That executive that's like, I don't want to work with directors who want their movie in theaters. Well, fuck you then! Almost all the movies on your shitty app suck anyways. Like all the originals, Red Notice? Are you out of your fucking mind with that? What a trash film. Like for every one Netflix exclusive, there's 100 bad ones that get crapped out. That's not a good ratio. And some jaded folks will say that's the same thing with movies in theaters these days, but that's just not true. I've seen plenty of good movies this year. I've seen a few great movies this year. I've also seen some terrible ones, but that ratio's, I would say it's probably 50-50. I would say I'm actually getting more towards the positive end again on things. In either case, you're more prone to have a better experience going out to see the theaters because then you're out of the house, you're doing something, you're giving the film its attention. Instead of just wandering in the background, maybe doing a dish in the sink or taking a call from mom, you are focused, you're locked in on this film. And Netflix and other streamers, they want to take that from us. Don't let them. Don't you dare let them. All right, that's all I got. My little rant for you on this whole, Netflix thing. They wanted to do that merger with Warner Brothers, buy out Warner. I'm so glad Paramount stepped in and they had this bidding war, and at the end of the day, everybody lost. But we kind of won because then we don't have this. Do monopolies exist? I often find myself asking this question. I'm pretty sure that there's a thing, in America at least, where you're not supposed to have monopolies. You're supposed to break them up. The Congress is supposed to step in. That doesn't seem to be the thing at all. I'm pretty sure Amazon owns a bunch, Google owns a bunch, Disney owns a bunch. All these companies just gobbling each other up, and there seems to be no stoppers in place. And so what happens is you have no competition, and when you have no competition, the money just goes up, and people are forced to pay it because there's no competition. You got me going again. Okay, I'm done. There are my thoughts on this whole kerfluffle. Let me know yours in the comments below. I would encourage you sub to the show Adam Does Movies if you're like a guy that doesn't take things too seriously, but still has passion, for sure. You gotta have some passion. Maybe it's compassion I'm thinking of. And hopefully, I see you next time. Take care. Since you're still here, I got to give a special shout out to my Patreon supporters at patreon.com/AdamDoesMovies. There are 3 tiers you can support the channel at. These are the silver and gold members right here, just a beautiful group of people. If you didn't know, Adam Does Movies is a passion project for me. It's a second job for me. So making this happen is incredibly grueling. Over 300 exclusive videos just for signing up at the bronze membership. Every month, I add more exclusive videos for silver and gold members. So there's always new stuff happening over there. So anything you can do, I would appreciate.